Good evening everybody, welcome along to my 2000 Guineas preview today, the first classic of the 2019 domestic flat season and the first big race to kick off the flat season. We've got a fantastic race ahead, a couple of notable absentees, obviously too darn hot. The Dewhurst winner being the most notable one of all. Was going to be running in this, looked a warm favourite in the build up to this race for the past couple of months, but met a setback a couple of weeks ago after galloping on the Albahathri, I think it was. He had a bit of tension in his leg or something afterwards, the day after, or something along those lines. He subsequently will not run. Rumour is he might be looking to go to the Dante before going on to the Derby, which will be very, very interesting. Whether or not he'll go there, we're not too sure yet, but we'll wait and see as time goes on. Obviously, gutted that he's not going to be here, but there's plenty of other good horses in this race. Wide open race, plenty of value. 19 runners will go to post on Saturday as it stands at the moment. That's the most we've had in any 2000 Guineas since 2010, which is fantastic. We want to see as many good 3-year-olds take on as many as possible. Where's the fun in watching a 10-race 2000 Guineas or a 11-horse 2000 Guineas? There's no fun in that at all, is there? Looking at the market, and when I got the figures from the market on Thursday afternoon, these are the prices I got, so don't crucify me if they're a bit different to the ones you've got. These are taken from Bet365, as I said, on Thursday afternoon, and when looking, we had two joint favourites at 4-1, both Aidan O'Brien horses, 10 Sovereigns and Magna Grazia, joint favourites at 4-1. You've got Scardu prominent in the betting, you've got Mad Moon at 7-1, Advertise 8-1, Royal Marine 8-1, you've got Al Hilali at 12-1, Great Scott 20-1, Kick On 25s, Shine So Bright 25s, and bigger, you get 33-1 bigger the rest there from what I've seen. I've picked out a number of contenders that we're going to run through in some detail here. I've got a barrage of notes I've made throughout the course of the day, and we're going to go through each of these contenders properly and give my discussions whether I'm for or against these horses, and most importantly, give my two picks for the race. One to win, and also one at a very nice, tasty, big price, which I'm sure all my viewers will love to see. So starting off, we're going to crack on with 10 Sovereigns here. Joint 4-1 favourite with Magna Grazia, but we're going to start with 10 Sovereigns. The pick for Ryan Moore, he had a choice of Magna Grazia and 10 Sovereigns. He goes with 10 Sovereigns here. Middle Park winner over 6 furlongs last season at Newmarket on the Rolly Mile. Along with 2 other 6 furlong wins, he's only had 3 runs in his career, all over 6 furlongs. Never gone above 6 furlongs. Stamina is the biggest worry for him. To get a mile at Newmarket, you've got to be a very good horse over the Rolling Mile. The undulations, the stamina sapping test, when you meet the rising ground coming towards the final furlong, it takes a good horse to win over a mile in the Classic and the 2000 Guineas. My concern for 10 Sovereigns, as I said, it's a big difference going from 6 furlongs to a mile. 6 furlongs is all about speed, and you need a little bit of stamina to win 6 furlongs. To go to a mile, you need stamina. You need a good bit of speed at the start, but you've got to stay. Will 10 Sovereigns stay? I'm not too sure, but Aidan O'Brien's a wily old fox when he comes to training these type of horses, and he's not running him for the sake of running him. He runs him because he probably thinks he's got a great chance here. A Middle Park winner, so normally it's not the best of trials for a Guineas horse, I wouldn't say, but he comes here in good form, 3 from 3 all over 6 furlongs. Looks like he might have a solid chance, but it wouldn't be my pick. If I was having to pick a horse from the O'Brien pair, it would be Magna Grazia, and I'm sure it would be more other people's choices too. Beating the neck in the Autumn Stakes when I went there in October on Future Champions Day by Persian King. Persian King will not run here. Andre Farb's horse will go to the French Guineas, I think, from what I've heard. Followed that up with a very good, an okay win in the Vertum Futurity Trophy, which was the Racing Post Trophy. He beat Phoenix of Spain by a neck, and Phoenix of Spain was many people's tip at 16-1 to run a big race in this race, but he won't come here now. Charlie Hills is grey. He's met an injury, I think, so he'll swerve the Guineas and go somewhere else. My question is, Magna Grazia, he'll stay the trip no problem at all. He's got a good consistent form, but is he quite good enough? That Racing Post Trophy wasn't what you'd expect from a Guineas horse. If you have a Guineas horse, you'd expect him to brush them lot aside quite comfortably. He ran a very good racing behind Persian King in the Autumn Stakes, but is he good enough to win the Guineas? I'm just not too sure. He'll stay the trip no problem. Donica O'Brien will take the ride on him, as he did in the Autumn Stakes, and also in the Vertum Futurity Trophy, as I've said, the Racing Post Trophy and the other name as well, so I've mixed it up. But is he quite good enough? I don't think he is, and I could be barking up the wrong tree here, but he's got a good chance from what the market suggests. He's 4-1 joint favourite for a reason. He's got a good form, but I just don't know if he's going to be good enough to win this. I mean, looking down the market, we've got Scardu, who was a big gambled on horse to win the Craven for William Haggers. His price tumbled in the betting before off. He crashed like an absolute machine. He just crashed, didn't he, before the start of the race. Won the race as expected. He had Royal Marine in behind him, and we'll touch on a little bit later on. The 33-1 7 furlong winner on debut over the Rolly Mile. One trial, the mile should be no problem at all. James Doyle, I guess, will take the ride. He looks an interesting contender, doesn't he? I mean, he's shot to near enough favouritism here, isn't he, in the market with that winning the Craven. Again, is he quite good enough? I'm not too sure. And that form in the Craven isn't strong, I don't think. I don't think the horses in behind, there ain't too many good horses in there, or the horses who I think will be capable of winning this type of race. You've got quite a few reappear in this race. Royal Marine will reappear. Set a Piece will reappear. I don't think Zakuski's going to run in this, and he was a disappointing one that day, but I don't think he will. I backed Scardu in the Craven as well before he got gambled on, which was fortunate for me. But another interesting horse. Is he quite good enough? 2 runs prior to this, which I have to wait and see with him. Mad Moon's an interesting contender here, because I'm a very big Mad Moon fan. Champions Juvenile winner last season over a mile at Leopardstown when he beat Broome. He's a very, very good juvenile himself, Ray O'Brien. He'll be a good 3-year-old this year, I think. However, the only negative I had was that he was turned over at Leopardstown again in the 2000 Guineas trial on Grand National Day at 4 to 6 by a very good horse called Never No More of Aidan O'Brien's. Another promising juvenile, a lovely chestnut horse who just did enough towards the finish. And it was a shame because I think Mad Moon's a very, very good horse, and he was my pick for this race at a big price. Anthony Post at 16. He's now 7 to 1. Tom Segal price was given him as well, which is probably why the market's reacted to that and he's tumbled, which is a big surprise to me. I think it is. I just think that I was surprised they never went to the Curragh, because I think the stiffer mile at the Curragh might suit him better. And I think out of all the horses in this race, he could be the Massar type, where he runs a good race in the Guineas. Maybe gets a place before kicking onto the Derby. I think he could be a very good Derby horse. I think the Derby trip will suit him better than the Guineas trip. And I think he's a very interesting runner at 7 to 1. Not my pick again. My pick's coming up now. But Mad Moon, I think, will run a decent race. But I'd keep an eye on him for the Derby. My pick to win the 2000 Guineas is advertised. If this horse was trained by Aidan O'Brien, if he wore the purple and white of Ballydoyle, this boy would be favourite, I think. Looking at what he's done this season, it's rock solid form at 2. He's finished behind some very, very smart horses. Second in behind Calix in the Coventry Stakes last time. First of 11 on the far side group. Ashee Murphy went far side of him at Ascot that day. Frankie came up stand side. Frankie won by a length. Ashee Murphy was first of the 11 in the group on the far side. Arguably that day, people were saying that he was on the better side of the track that day, and he obviously wasn't, because Frankie obviously rides Ascot so well. He had the dream up the inside on the stand side and won very, very nicely indeed. But it's rock solid form. Calix is a very, very good horse. He's followed up with a win in the July Stakes at the July meeting over the July course as well, over 6 furlongs. The commentary itself is over 6 furlongs too, so he's got quite a bit of speed to win and finish second over 6 furlongs. He then went to the Curragh in Ireland to win the Phoenix, which is another good 6 furlong race for 2-year-olds. He won that very nicely. And then a first run beyond 6 furlongs. He went to 7 furlongs, again, future champions day in the Dewhurst at 10 to 1, finished a close second in behind Too Darn Hot. Didn't run badly at all. That was a very, very good prep run. Martin Mead's very, very bullish on his chances here. I've seen advertised do a piece of work before racing at Newmarket a couple of weeks ago, and boy, oh boy, he's grown a lot over the winter. He's a very big horse, an imposing horse now. He's really developed over the winter. He's grown into his body very well. He's big, rangy and bulky, and I think he's got a cracking chance at 8 to 1. As I said before, if he was no O'Brien horse, he would be less, about 4 to 1, I'm convinced. But because he's a Martin Mead horse, he's double the price, and that's brilliant for me. My money's going to go on him in the Guineas. I think he's got a great chance here. I'm loving advertised. I think he'll win this race for me. Royal Marine comes in next best price at 8 to 1. I'd easily oppose him. He's a Prix Jean-Luc Lagardère winner in France at 2 at Longchamp in October, in and around the Arc period as well. Flopped in the 2000 Guineas trial in Meydan in the winter, when the 5 to 6 favourite when he finished 4th for 13 that day. Disappointing run from him. Then turned over in the Guineas trial over here in the Craven, when again 13 to 8 favourite, finished 4th of 8 behind Scardu. Christophe Soumillon was open to a lot of flack that day. He didn't give the horse the best of rides, and people were quick to pick up on that. But I just don't think this horse is quite good enough to win the Guineas. People have said before he's a good each way bet here, but I think he's easily opposable. He's put in 2 poor runs since winning that Prix Jean-Luc Lagardère in France, and I can easily oppose him here again. 8 to 1. If I was a booker, I'd probably have him a little bit bigger than that. I'd probably have him at 10s or so. Al Hilali again for Godolphin, 12 to 1 here. The 30 grand supplementary fee for the horse here, following a 7 furlong debut win. Then repeated that with another 7 with a mile win over in France at Deauville listed race, where he beat Great Scott, who's 20 to 1 in this race again. He finished second in the Greenham, but we touched him after this. Al Hilali's interesting here. Is it quite good enough form to win again? He's probably not, but Godolphin do fancy his chances, and they wouldn't chuck him in for 30 grand for no reason at all. There's another option here with Royal Marine as well, so they've got 2 here. He's got form over a mile, which he won at Deauville, but I just don't think he's quite good enough to win this. Kick On at 25 to 1 is my big priced horse each way. I think this horse is going to be staying on towards the end of the race. Won over a mile 1 in the Fielden Stakes, where he beat Walker to Sand. A very battling, good performance from him that day. Looks like he might even go further up in trip in his future career. Looks like a very, 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 very good dogged battler. He battled all the way to line that day, saw out the mile 1 furlong very nicely. I think over a mile he will stand towards the end. My slight concern with him is he might be outpaced towards the start of the race, but you're expecting to see him stick on, coming out the rising ground and up towards the hill, towards the final furlong or so. Ashee Murphy, I guess, will ride this horse. 25 to 1's a good price for him. Finished 6th in the Racing Post Trophy behind Magna Grazia, and obviously, of course, on reappearance, won again, beat Walk in the Sand by a neck in the Fielden, and I think he's a lively outsider here. Great Scott, another big priced horse, in behind Al Hillary at Deauville in August. As I said, in that listed mile weight race, he was 3rd or 7 that day. Followed up with a win on listed, again at listed level on heavy ground at Haydock on his next return. Then following that, in the Racing Post Trophy, again, he finished 5th 11 that day behind Magna Grazia before finishing a 3/4 length second to Mahatha in the Greenham at Newbury a couple of weeks ago, which is not a bad piece of form. Mahatha doesn't line up here. He's missed a race due to a setback. Great Scott might have an each way chance, but not for me. I think he's got form on heavy ground, but the ground again might be too quick for him. And finally, touching on Shine So Bright, another horse who's got a lively chance, I think, at a big price. Rock solid form last year, 3rd in the Richmond, the Jim Crack and the Mill Reef as well over the course of his 2-year-old campaign. Rock solid form. Followed up with a comfortable success in the free handicap by about 1 3/4 lengths. He was comfortable success for Sylvester de Souza. King Power Racing have got a lot of good firepower this season, a lot of good younger horses here. They've got Beat the Bank, a good horse like him, who will be aimed towards the big mile races in the summer this year. And Shine So Bright could have a bright future ahead of him, no pun intended there in the name. He's a horse who won, as I said, over course and distance very nicely with fact 7 furlongs as a free handicap, but it was a comfortable success. He beat John Goslin's Arzano that day. Arzano was well fancied that day. Arzano this time is 50 to 1 to run in the Guineas this year. He's going to run Saturday. He was disappointing that day, but Shine So Bright wasn't. And I think this grey horse, a lovely grey looking horse, he's got a good chance each way. Should like the course, no problem at all when he handled the undulations at the Rolling Mile a couple of weeks ago. I think he's got a good chance running the big price here. My pick for the race, as I said before, Advertise, and my each way bet is Kick On at 25 to 1. Advertise, you get 8 to 1 there, and 25 to 1 on Kick On at the moment. If you enjoyed this, guys, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new as well, greatly appreciated. Comment your thoughts as well, and enjoy the Guineas. Be back tomorrow evening for the 1000 Guineas preview as well. Thank you, bye bye.